Do you remember that wedding from a month ago? Yeah, like that one that you needed to start editing yesterday? But you also need to prep today for your wedding tomorrow, and you're leaving for your first vacation in forever on Monday. So what do? It seems that the only creative part of your edits are the excuses you're going to have to give your clients. We have the solution, Wedditor. Wedditor is a team of top wedding editors, project managers, and account coordinators that help us wedding filmmakers edit. They match the right editors with your style so you can spend your time where it matters most, on your business. Nick and I both use Wedditor, and we don't know how we would run our companies without them. It takes a team to build an amazing business, and you shouldn't try to do it all on your own. Head over to howtofilmweddings.com/Wedditor to help you free up your time so that you can focus on growing your brand. Be sure to use promo code HTFW for $50 off your first project. Wedditor, more than freelance, more than outsourcing.
And welcome to How to Film Weddings. My name is Nick Miller, and today I did a live Q&A in our Facebook group by myself. John currently is in Italy. I have some FOMO for that, so I wanted to give him a little FOMO for doing a little podcast without him. Anyway, a solo live Q&A. I think it went really well. I answered all sorts of questions about your business, what our plans are for how to film weddings in the future, how to deal with certain situation with DJs and lights and like that kind of stuff. Anyway, it went really well. So we're going to go ahead and jump over into this podcast. Let's go. Hello everyone. Why don't you just take a second and let me know where it is that you are watching from today. As I said in a post earlier this morning, John is in Italy. Super jealous of him. My wife's brother and sister-in-law actually live in Rome, so we're really wanting to get over there to, shoot a wedding or do something so that we can go visit them. I mean, we could go visit them. We're going to go visit them. But it'd be cool to shoot a wedding while we are over there. Thanks, Thom. I'm glad you can hear me loud and clear. I have my fancy camera hooked up to my computer today, so I look really good, don't I? My beard's definitely on point. So, what I wanted to do today is just do a live Q&A solo. Like I said, because John's in Italy, I'm jealous, so I needed to do something to make him a little bit jealous, even though this probably isn't going to make him jealous at all. So I'm doing a little live Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Earlier today, I did ask if anyone had anything that they would like for me to talk about, like for me to cover. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. This is tough, talking a whole lot by myself. Will I bore myself? I need some interaction here. So why don't you say hi somewhere in the chat. If you're in there, let me know that you're watching. Let me know that you can hear me, all of that kind of stuff. So that is what is going on right now. So this week has really been a week. We do not have a wedding on Saturday, this weekend. This is Labor Day weekend coming up. We don't have a wedding. And so this kind of week, I kind of took the week off. I mean, sort of. I mean, I did a bunch of fringe stuff that I wanted to get done that I didn't necessarily need to get done, like the videos that I needed to edit. And I think that was because in the back of my mind, I was like, I know I'm not shooting on Saturday, so I'm not going to add to my backlog, which anyone else do that kind of random, ridiculous nonsense in their businesses whenever they're not shooting. Anyways, probably just a struggle that I have a little bit. But that's what's been going on this week. So, of course, instead of editing like I probably should be doing, I'm doing a live Q&A for you all. So there we go. Hey, Cliff. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Jake. Thanks for joining. Hey, Joni, Tyler, Luke, David. Everyone's in here that's watching. I have half a dozen people right now. That's kind of low. Anyway. So people are starting to ask some questions in the group here, so I'm going to go ahead and answer these as best as I can. Kevin Ryan asks, how to handle a parent telling you what to do all day because they paid for you and feel entitled to micromanage you. I think that this is one of those things where you are going to have to stand up for yourself and let them know that you are professional and you know what you are doing. I kid you not, probably about 5 years ago, I shot a wedding, and the photographer was really, really good parents with the bride, really good friends with the bride's parents. Okay. And as we were doing stuff, I was trying to get my stuff set up, and video takes a little bit longer than photo. And the mom of the bride actually came up to me when I was doing my stuff, and she said, hey, I'd like for you to stay out of the photographer's way because we paid him a lot of money. And oh man. The rest of the day, I was kind of shook, and it took me probably a solid hour and a half to get back in my groove, to know what it was that I was doing, what I was supposed to be doing. So my advice for you is to, even if you're so upset, you're so frustrated, act like a professional, tell them, thank you so much for your suggestions. We have a certain way we like to do things. I promise you that I'm going to get you the shots and get you the video that I promised you to deliver to you. So that is what I would suggest that you should do in that situation. Josh McNally asked, quick question, getting ready to camp, but thought it would be a nice chance to ask someone, how do you manage work-life balance? I don't think it's really that possible. I often work 8 to 10 and sometimes 16-hour days to edit things. What do you do to have time for family or to do not work stuff? Okay, there are some photographers that I really look up to. They've really gotten into the education space. Their names are Amy and Jordan Demos. They just launched a podcast this week called Life with Amy and Jordan. And their first episode actually kind of covers all of this stuff, the myth of the multitasker. And Jordan in there, he basically breaks down, and it says there was this poll taken recently in the United States, and it's people that do 8 to 5 jobs, 9 to 5 jobs. They work 8 hours a day, only on average get somewhere between 2 and 4 hours of work actually done because they are doing so many other things. They're answering emails, they're playing on their phone, they're just talking with coworkers, whatever it may be. So something that I literally did this morning that I haven't done in a long time that I know is a good deal is I put my phone on no notifications and I turned my Wi-Fi off and I just sat down and I started to edit. I got 4 minutes done of an edit that I had been working on forever, and I've been working on it forever because I was really struggling to do it. It was just a rough wedding day, and you know how those kind of things go. And I knocked out those 4 minutes or whatever of how I like to edit in about an hour and a half, 2 hours because I had everything turned off. You, Jake, should maybe try that. Take some time, just do dedicated 2 hours and see how much you can get done with no distractions. There's that myth of the multitasker where we think that, I can do all these things at once. But if you're using brain power, it's really hard. You cannot edit and write an email that needs to go out. You just can't do it at the same time. You need to do both of those things. So, and then set boundaries for yourself. That's one thing that we've done. I know that I am done with work about 4 o'clock each day, which is right before my daughter gets home from school. And then I know that I am not going to do any work stuff. I prefer not to do anything the rest of the day, but if I have to do some work stuff, I do it after the kids go to bed, only if my wife and I have talked about it. So, there is that. Luke Rogers asked me, do you shoot in a flat picture profile? The answer is no. We do not shoot in a flat picture profile. We shoot on C100s, and we have something, I can't even remember what picture profile we bought. David of Forestry Films turned me onto it whenever he shot with C100, and it is a close to real looking profile, so that while I am shooting, I'm not getting bored with my images. Whenever I shot flat, my wife complained all the time. She's like, I don't like this. It looks boring. I can't tell what the image is. But as soon as we kind of shifted to that, it has made the joy of filming a lot better. Yeah. Yes, Luke. You ask if I have presets and you color grade each individual clip. Yes, we color grade each individual clip. I know kind of the quote unquote correct way to do color is to color correct. That is setting white balance, exposure, all of that stuff, and then color grade, adding the color. But my wife does the color and she likes to do it all in one fail swoop so that whenever she adds the LUT that we use to the profile, then she knows exactly what it is that she is going to get. So she color corrects every single clip. So we also got some questions earlier in the Facebook group. Casey Bergamy asked, when's the meetup in the ATL, Atlanta? I don't know, the other day, John just put in our Facebook group a bunch of different places. Him and I are going to be doing some traveling this fall, and possibly, and he put a whole bunch of different places we might be to do meetups and all of that kind of stuff. And Atlanta, Georgia was on there. We desperately want to get to Atlanta. Casey, I would maybe around the beginning of December, might be, if I were to put something on my calendar, maybe the beginning of December, that might be a cool time for us to go there. So
we know the time suck that is searching for the perfect song for your wedding film. MusicBed has spent years collaborating with artists, bands, and composers to make it easier than ever for anyone to find the right song for their video.
With amazing artists like Chapters, Tony Anderson, and The Light the Heat, MusicBed is the best place for wedding videographers to get licensed music.
Their subscription service was a life changer for me, especially since all of their subscription music is pre-cleared for every social media platform: Facebook, Instagram, Love Stories TV, and my personal favorite, YouTube, all pre-cleared.
And if you are interested in a free month of a MusicBed wedding subscription, head over to howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed. When you sign up, use the promo code HTFW and you will get your first month for free. James Crea asks, a DJ tells you your light is making people not want to get on the dance floor and asks if you can turn it off. Kindest and best response. Kid you not. I have my two Practilights, which are big, bright lights so that I can get dance footage. Cameras don't work if there is no light. I know that you Sony people that really like to shoot with no lights or whatever are going to say, no, you need lights on the dance floor. Totally my opinion. Anyway, this wedding probably had 250 people at it. And at the dancing part of the reception, there were a solid 125. Over half of the crowd was on the dance floor, and there were so many people on the dance floor. It was almost like they couldn't dance because there was no room because it was so packed. And I walked by and the DJ comes up to me. He was like, hey man, can you kill your lights? It's really messing with the vibe of the reception. And I'm like, the dance floor is full. Like, it's totally full. Like, you want me to... So I just, I kind of wanted to keep the peace. And, we were going to be at the reception for a while. So I turned off one of my Practilights. And he seemed to be kind of happy with that situation. If a DJ asks me to turn them off, I kindly say, I cannot do my job if I don't have any lights on. I cannot film, and I've already cleared it with the bride and groom. I talked to the bride and groom about how I bring in lights for toasts, I bring in lights for the dances, I bring in lights for all of that stuff. I've already cleared it for them. In my experience, if people are going to dance, it doesn't matter if there's lights or if there's no lights. If they're not going to dance, it doesn't matter if there are lights or there's no lights. And this DJ was really, really good. So people were up and people were partying. That's my opinion. Just to kindly say, if I turn off these lights, then I can't do the job that the bride and groom hired me to do, which is filming their wedding. That's what I would say. Jonathan, if we come to the ATL, I will possibly hit you up and stay at your house and sleep on your couch or something like that. So going on to another question that we had from our Facebook group earlier today, Caitlin Sheets asked, other than becoming more confident with the over time, is there anything I can do to make myself feel more confident in my role as a videographer? It gets better with each wedding, but I feel like I'm always second guessing myself when it comes to things like directing the couple, setting up lights, positioning myself for the ceremony, etc., etc. Bobby Burns and Chris Spice also kind of commented on this post for you, Caitlin. I saw you interacting, but the thing that I would say with this question is, if you're struggling with being confident, like, fake it till you make it is a true thing. Like, you go in there and be the most confident person that you can be, and you don't second guess yourself. After you get home and you look at your footage, then maybe you can say, okay, what worked? What didn't work? And kind of figuring it out that way. Also, most of the time, our couples, if you give them back a video, very, very, very few of the couples that we have delivered films from have not liked their videos. And so you are probably doing a very, very good job. I would just become more confident and continue to learn and ask questions. How should you position lights? How should you, pose couples? Where should you be for the ceremony? Like, figure that stuff on your time off. But whenever you're on the wedding day, just have a plan. Do it. For your ceremony, say, this is what we need to do. It really helps now on our ceremony, so many years in that I've been doing this. I know what I'm going to do for my ceremony. Now we have our toast lighting down. Like, we know how we're going to light them up and all that stuff. And when it comes to couples, I suggest having 3, 4, or 5 prompts, poses, things that you know that you can do, that you will do, that you can come back to every single time. That will really help you if you have those in your pocket that you can do that. Okay. Let me go here. Peter Aponte asked this question, and he wants to know if he should use his Amazon card prize towards buying a new monopod or a year supply of cup of noodles. In our Facebook group, we are trying to grow that, and we are giving back to the community. And if you invite the most people into our Facebook group, you will get a $100 Amazon gift card. And right now, Peter Aponte is on top of that. So I don't know. A monopod is useful, but a year supply of cup of noodles is a year supply of cup of noodles, right? Like, I don't know. Seems good to me. Amanda McGuire asks, when doing a quote-unquote discovery call before booking with a potential client, how do you not come across as too salesy while at the same time making the sale successful by the end? One, what we do is we know what we are good at, and we know the talking points beforehand that we want to talk about. Really listening to the pain points of your client. Like, I have my sales call, and it kind of goes where, introductions, tell me about yourself and your wedding. I tell them a little bit about us. And then I have 6 or 7 things that I really like to outline, that I think that we do really, really well. Okay. In that, while the bride is talking, if she's talking about her wedding day and something comes up, something comes up to them that is a pain point, like they're really worried about, their grandmother is really old, and they're worried that this is the last time that they'll, get her out and, capture, be around her, or, she's never going to leave out of the city again, or, something like that. Then you can come in and say, one of the things we love to do is document for the family. We like to create memories and have stuff for them. So listen to the things that they're saying and respond to them. I think so many people, whenever it comes to sales call, at least I thought this in the past, was to try and have them hear what I wanted them to hear and go through my thing instead of listening to what they say. If you listen to what they say and respond to those things, even if it's out of order from, your sales pitch that you want to make at the end, I think that'll help it all. And figure out a way, the things that set you apart, the things that make you different, the things that you do really well, and practice it. Like, it's okay, and be confident. I think that is also a big thing, is just to be confident and talk to them through the whole process. That is what I would do. Ian Lowe asked me, have you ever had a second shooter who didn't have much experience? What do you do to prepare them, especially at times when you will be split up and away from them? Okay. When it has come to a second shooter, my wife is my second shooter. Like, we're a partner, we're a business team, so we do everything together. So I haven't had to separate from her very much. And whenever I have, it's been, she is sick, or our kids are sick, or, something like that. So I have been able to bring in people that are experienced from town, that have their own businesses, that just weren't shooting that day. So I haven't really had to train a second shooter very much or very often. What I would recommend is do not train them on the wedding day. Okay, if this is your person, they're going to come to you, take them out, find a couple. find someone where you can go out and practice and you can tell them what to do. Bring them to your house and have, someone stand in from a window and say, this is what we're looking for with light, and talk about exposure, and don't do live training on the wedding. I think it was Aaron Tharp in our podcast that we did with him a few weeks ago, where he said that they never do live hands-on on a wedding day. If you're going to train someone, to talk to them a lot beforehand, and then you can talk to them throughout the day, but don't take away from the couple to train them and to talk to them, if that makes sense. Come back after the wedding day, review their footage, talk to them. This is what I'm looking for. This is not what I'm looking for. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. That kind of stuff. That would be my recommendation for that. Another question here. Ellen DeSorbo, I believe is how you say that. What are some things to keep in mind when editing a film for which you don't want to follow a chronological timeline? You don't want to, you want to show clips throughout the day and not necessarily anything similar in order that they occurred. She's stuck in her chronological type edits, and you want to branch out from that. So here is the thing that you need to figure out whenever you don't want to do chronological. I think that a lot of people, when they hear non-chronological edits, they think that the story doesn't matter. They can just throw random clips in wherever they want. One, you need to figure out the story. Something that I totally recommend is for you to have a point that you can always come back to. Okay, in a wedding that we did recently, it was like the bride in her letter made a big point about respect. The father of the groom made a big point about respect. The best man made a big point about respect in all these things. So that I knew was a common theme that I could focus on through the wedding. So that was a point that I kept coming back to, was respect. So I started, the video off with, the father of the bride or the father of the groom talking about that. Then I had something with the letter reading. And then at the end I had something. So I had something to anchor it, to tell that story, to come back to. Another thing is the stuff needs to make some sort of sense, even if it's only to you. But you have to figure out it might not be chronological, but there's still a line where it goes, and everything has to come back. So maybe there's a reason why you're going from bride putting on her dress to the couple dancing together, straight to the groom getting dressed, and then maybe, her walking down the aisle. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a sequence there. But whenever you have a sequence, if you don't have a reason for that sequence, then that's, I think, where it really falls flat. Listen to what the toasters are saying. Have there be some point that connects all of those things together. That's something that we like to do. I am not very chronological when it comes to couple portraits, like couple time. I always start my videos off with a couple because I want that hook in really early. When it comes to toast or letter reading or any vocal stuff, I am not chronological at all. Okay. The rest of the video, I'm actually really chronological, where I'm going to show, bride getting ready, groom getting ready, or some combination of that. Then, the first look, then the ceremony stuff and all that stuff. And I'm going to build it that way, but I'm going to sprinkle it in among this other stuff that's not chronological. So you have that vein going through it the entire time. I don't know if this is making sense, but in my head, that's how I like to do things. And so that story of the day is still being told, even though I'm kind of jumping around all over the place, it still makes sense. The only time that I will, other than the couple time or, a toast or something like that, that I might shift something that happens out of order would be if the father of the bride is talking about I don't know, something like, seeing you in the dress for that first time. And even though you've already done that sequence, like you can cut back to that because the person speaking is referencing that. Tyler Carlson asks, in the Pacific Northwest, our wedding season is short. Any tips to try and book winter weddings or at least stay relevant? We do other shoots, but when the spring comes around, I feel like it takes a couple weddings to get back into the groove. Have you done any winter type weddings up there? Tyler? Like, have you done a styled shoot, or have you just taken a couple when it's snowing and you go into the mountains or whatever and you just do a shoot? Like, if you could do something like that and then show it off, people are going to find you and people are going to book you for that kind of stuff. The whole thing of show what it is that you want to shoot. I think that is such a huge thing if you want people to come to you maybe when a time that it's not. And then, like our friend Max Sadek said, Facebook ads, if you're trying to target that stuff, continue to run ads even in the wintertime, or, start in the summer, for about your winter wedding or anything like that. Like that, those would be two things that I would recommend that would be pretty huge.
So tell me, what CRM do you use? If you're not sure or you don't know what a CRM is, I'm about to save you a lot of time and therefore money. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. Basically, a CRM is an online service that helps you better serve your clients. HoneyBook is both mine and John's CRM of choice. We absolutely love it. HoneyBook allows us to do all of our correspondence, contracts, and payments all in one place. One of the features that I love is the automated workflow. We all have emails that we send out to all of our clients, right? At 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, the week of. All of us do it. Automated workflows make it so that those emails can go out automatically. Since I don't have to take time to, 1, remember to send them out, and 2, to write them, I save time and make more money by working more efficiently. Are you interested in saving time on the business side of things? Go to howtofilmweddings.com/honeybook for a free 1-week trial. Also, because the Honeybooks really like me and John, we can give you $200 off of your first year, and that also comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Go to howtofilmweddings.com/honeybook to start saving lots of time in your business. Oh yeah, legally I have to tell you that John and I are affiliates of HoneyBook.
Alyssa Robinson says, I know artistically where I want to go with my films, but I won't want to be so niche that I create a small client pool for myself. Okay, I don't know exactly what niche you kind of are talking about or whatever, but I do know there is a phrase that there's riches in niches. Okay, if you can really, really niche down to a specific something, like it could possibly be really beneficial for you. Okay, just like in my photography work, I prefer to be a more moody look. I can easily see myself getting burnt out really quickly if I start making bright, crisp videos with the same epic music over and over again. I just won't be artistically satisfied. Okay, I totally get where you're coming. You're kind of like, how can I continue to make these videos? How can I continue to do the things that I'm doing and still be artistically satisfied? Okay, one thing that I think you should know off the bat, for every wedding, you're not going to be. Some weddings are going to be to pay the bills, and that's okay. Like some you're going to be really, really inspired about, and some you are going to be really excited to do. Okay, I would say one thing that has really helped us is whenever we shifted the way of thinking, and we have started really purposefully trying to make each edit for the couple with the couple in mind. So the music that we pick, it might not necessarily be what we would select for that wedding day, but we know it fits with the couple. How we edit, does it edit with the couple? Are they more of an elegant, romantic, sappy, or are they more of a fun, upbeat, high energy kind of thing? That has really helped us with our editing. So now whenever we come to it, it's almost like, obviously there are elements and there are things that make it a wild oak film whenever we edit it. However, we put the couple's interests in mind, and we are editing it in a way that we know reflects them. So that maybe could help you a little bit in figuring all of that stuff out. I'm not sure if that was helpful. If you have any questions about that, you can drop them in there. Travis Herberling, and Travis was actually in Wichita, Kansas this past week, and I couldn't get together with him because I was busy, so that was kind of a bummer. But anyways, he asks, I remember that I mentioned something about posting all of your prices online. Am I still doing that? How's that been going? Anything different with the inquiries that you got? Okay. So there was about a month and a half, almost 2 month period where all of our pricing was straight online. Some people loved that idea. There's some people that do it, and some people really didn't like that idea. Got some pushback from it. But what we experienced was this: because we are at a higher price point for our area, our inquiries went way down. Like way down. And it could have been because it was, June, July, whenever we did it, June, July, beginning of August. That could have been. But I think it was because of our starting price point. So our inquiries went way down. But for the people that did inquire, our booking rate went way up because they saw what they were getting and they saw what it would cost to get what we were giving them, so they could see it all. So that was a very positive thing. We actually took it down, not because I was scared or I didn't like how things were going, but we've been getting a lot of destination stuff, and it's kind of hard to talk through that if our starting price is this, but then our destination is, $2,500 more or whatever it is that, we do for travel for that wedding because we have to fly and it's expensive in the West Coast and, all of that kind of stuff. So I really liked it. And if I could figure out a way to properly do that, I would definitely go back and list everything on our website because since we took it down, our inquiries have gone way up, but now I'm getting ghosted and people aren't getting back to me, even though I do put my starting price on the website. Okay, the question that Cliff last asked in our group thing earlier was, what are your thoughts on referral incentives? Bad ideas, good ideas? I think it kind of depends where you are in your business and who it is that you want to work with. There are some photographers in town that we love to work with. Their style is very similar with ours. Just how they are is very similar to ours. They're very customer service oriented, that kind of stuff. And so we actually made a deal where we told people if they booked us both, we would give them, it was $150 or $200 off of each of our services so that we could work together. And that really, really helped us get more business. And then we're shooting, at least with photographers, that we knew that the videos could come out really well because their posing and their style and how they were was very good. We really liked it. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I also think it depends on how you set it up and what you're giving up and how much of a discount or whatever that you would be giving up to do that. So it's worth exploring if you have someone that you regularly want to work with. I think that you need to find someone that you're going to be really good working with there. Hey, our friend John Bunn from Italy is in the chat. So, hey John, good to see you there. Yeah, John was definitely getting the FOMO. Like he wants to be on here, he needs to be on here, and he's just missing it so much. I've kind of covered all the questions that we got from our group earlier. I'm going back and looking to see if I missed any. If anyone has any other questions that they want to talk about. Something I kind of wanted to just touch on last night. One of my favorite shows of all is Scrubs. Okay, anyone else really likes Scrubs? And the other night I was doing something with my wife. We were talking and I was like, I really want to watch Scrubs. And she's like, I don't want to watch that. So it's on Hulu right now. So I started it from the beginning. And in one of the episodes early on, JD is sitting there and he's talking to this old lady who is having kidney failure, and she's just said, nope, I'm ready to die. I'm going to die. And so he just comes up with this massive list, and he's like, have you been to this place? Have you been here? Have you eaten this? Whatever. And she looked at him and she said, have you done that? Like, have you experienced these things? Like, you need to get out of this job and go do these things, or just go sit on the grass and think. And here I am at 5:00 in the afternoon, and I'm watching the show and I just start crying because I think that so many of us in our businesses, that's how we are. We're so stuck working all the time that we're not making time for ourselves. We're not setting boundaries. We're not going and sitting and thinking and relaxing. We're not going on travels or trips or whatever. And I wanted to take just a quick second to encourage you to maybe think of a way that you can just kind of break away and take some time for yourself, where you can spend time thinking, contemplating, recharging or go and do something, next year in 2020, block off sometime in June, in August, in October, sometime of the year for you to go do something and experience something so you're not stuck in this job at all times. So anyways, yeah, cried. And then I took my wife out to dinner for her birthday because Jen is awesome and it was her birthday and we wanted to celebrate. So there we go. Peter asks, what plans do we have for the future of How to Film Weddings? And Peter, we have plans. We have good plans. We have such good plans that I'm going to let John talk about them sometime. We will share them with you whatever we can and whenever we're ready, but we have a few things coming up this fall. We have some things that we're working on for next year that we are super, super excited about. It's just not time for us to share them yet, but we're so excited about How to Film Weddings. We're excited about this community. We are so grateful and thankful to all of you that tune in and participate and ask silly questions and, get our dumb jokes and, post things about someone. I think it was Matt Shamlu the other day posted about how his sister made crockpot spaghetti, and he said in that instance it would have been better if she stuck it in the microwave. Just little inside jokes that are really funny to John and I. So we thank you guys so much, and we are so excited to have you guys a part of this group and share with us and do this journey of being a small business owner together. So Adam Cheddar says, I'm a wedding filmmaker from the UK. I know you've mentioned that you are at a higher price point in your area. What is the price range of wedding films in our area in the UK? Some offer them as low as $250. What is the average spend of USA weddings? And they seem higher than what people pay in the UK. I have heard that, Adam. In our area, we have people that are charging $500 as a base price, and our base price ranges all the way up to $4,000. So that is a wide gap. I think everywhere that you go, there is going to be people on the very low end. There's going to be people on the very high end, but there's also going to be people, kind of in the middle. And if you really want to raise your prices, if you want to grow your brand, if you want to charge more, let me say this. I've heard that people in the UK say we just can't charge more. People aren't willing to spend more money. 2.5 years ago in Wichita, Kansas, I was sub $2,000, and now in 2020, I have a $7,000 booking in my city. And I think that how you do that is the thing that we talk about, which is the crockpot method. You start slow, you do it well. How are you serving your clients? How are you treating them? How are you taking care of them along the way? How are you reaching out to them? How are you communicating with them? How are you treating them on the wedding day? How are you treating after them on the wedding day? How are you blowing them away by your service? And if you continually and you're networking with other people in your area, if you continually do those things and you have a product also that is very high quality, like, you will be able to raise your prices over time. It might take a little bit longer in the area, maybe, but I guess I'm not worried about, people that are very, very cheap because they are either very new and they're just building. They're building their business, they're building their brand, they're doing kind of what we've been preaching, or they've just been doing it for a long time and that's just what they are going to do. And I know that the clients that are booking them we're not going to be able to book me. They're serving a different client than I am trying to serve. So if you do it long-term, time over time, and you serve your clients well, you treat the other vendors well, I think that you will be able to it might take you a little bit longer, but you'll be able to slowly raise your price over time. That's really what I have today. So unless anyone has a last minute question that they want to chime in with and talk about and share something, thank you all so much for chiming in. It's been really great spending time with you. I will say that Eddie Amaguire, just throwing that out there, he did ask a question about solo shooting in a business, and that's something that I think I would like to talk to someone that is actually a solo shooter about, starting a business as a solo shooter. So I'm going to hold off on that question. You told me, you gave me an out in the question that I could do that. So I think we're going to hold off on that. I know we have some great plans for some future episodes, covering topics like second shooters, and we have some things about SEO coming up, and some big announcements that we're really excited about that are going to be coming in a few weeks, and they might have already been made by the time this gets aired somewhere publicly. So anyways, thank you all so much for taking a little bit of time on your Friday to come hear me. I don't know what day you're going to be listening to this, maybe a Monday, maybe a Thursday, but thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for chiming in. Hey, Cliff says I'm a gentleman and a scholar, and I am a gentleman, and I do have a master's degree. So I will say that I am a scholar. Thank you for that, Cliff. Anyway, thank you so much for being in the chat. Thank you so much for talking. Thank you so much for being a part of this group. You're in our Facebook group, so you don't need to join. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. You can watch all this content there. We also have other great tutorials. If you're listening to this on a podcast, thank you so much. Rate and review us. And until next time, we will see ya. Thanks, guys.